Hi, I'm Karen Ross, Secretary of the California Department of Food and Agriculture, and I am so thrilled with this distinguished gentleman to be here outside of Woodland, California, and farm country, which you can tell from some of the background noise. This is an exciting opportunity for me to spend some time with you in person. We've met on Zoom before because several of you served on our first ad hoc advisory committee for Black, Indigenous people of color to really make sure that we were listening to all the voices and the importance of inclusion at the table. And so I'm thrilled to be here with Nelson Hawkins, who I first met at We Grow Farms in West Sacramento, but you're going to tell us about where we are today, right? I'm going to ask each one of you a key question, but I'm going to start with Nelson because of where we are. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
But this is a great story about vision and cooperation and reconnection, and I'm excited to tell that story as part of our Black History Month.
Me too.
So Nelson, tell me about where we are, about the collective you've formed, and how either being on our BIPOC advisory committee or seeing the benefits of the Farmer Equity Act, what has that meant to this place and this time? Yeah.
Ujamaa Farmer Collective, this land would not even be possible without the Farmer Equity Act, and how that created the BIPOC Advisory Committee and led to the materialization of this land here. So backing up on my involvement, I was facing construction or development of housing on my urban farm in West Sacramento, and facing the challenge of losing access to that land was a difficult outcome to face for my farm and my team. And that really sparked my motivation to advocate for land access and secure land tenure for in the BIPOC Advisory Committee. Knowing that this is not an experience that's unique to me and my farm. You know, threats to development of farmland is happening in urban and rural environments, areas all over California and in the country. So I felt honored and blessed to be a part of advisory committee to make my voice influence policy changes that would protect other farmers from experiencing what my farm is currently going through. And so when I pressed the issue of land access to the advisory committee, the response led to the meeting of the minds, where all the Black farmers a part of that committee came together to really build on a vision to create real programs to address this challenge. And so our group expanded over time, and including farmers and advocates throughout the state. And we successfully advocated for some state funding to acquire farmland to implement our programs. And our local team created this nonprofit organization that now became known as the Ujamaa Farmer Collective. And Ujamaa in Kiswahili means familyhood, and has been adapted to mean cooperative economics in the celebration of Kwanzaa. And we really embody this spirit of cooperative economics in all the programs that we're developing, so that all the farmer participants can share resources and have a place to share resources, starting with the land, so that we can all thrive together. So this is the fruits. We're the grandchildren of the Farmer Equity Act.
You're the grandchildren of it. That's terrific. And I also think it's exciting. You serve on the first ever Land Equity Task Force that's part of the Strategic Growth Council. So being able to be here today on a piece of land that could be the first example and a model, it might not work in all places, but that's pretty exciting to see how much progress we are making.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's one thing to be in a meeting on Zoom, we keep talking, you know what I'm saying? And then seeing how the implementation gets woven into all the agencies, all the programs, we're really seeing it. So the funding came about for getting this land for Ujamaa Farmer Collective through our advocacy, supported by CAF, and really putting in a in-district request through Assemblymember Aguiar Curry into the state budget of 2022. And through that process, we were able to obtain $1.25 million specifically for land acquisition in Yolo County. now would not be possible without Aguiar Curry and Senator Assemblymember Aguiar Curry and Senator Bill Dodd.
Adam, again, today's a great day for me because I'm meeting you in person.
Nice.
Now, you're with CAF, which is an amazing organization that really focuses on issues for small and historically underserved farmers, which we hope to change all that.
Exactly.
But tell me about your role at CAF and your experience. You come at this more of as an advocate, but also somebody who understands the financial aspects of it. I think you've interacted with maybe some of the legislators. How do you put like something as complicated as financing for acquiring land?
Yeah.
And how has your involvement with Farmer Equity Act and with members of the legislature really informed what you're doing now and what you want to do in the future?
As you said, I am formally trained in finance. I went to college for finance. I am not a farmer. I grew up in Arkansas, so I understand what agriculture is. But honestly, because of historic inequities and the cultural aspect of agriculture, I was afraid of agriculture.
Yeah.
So I didn't become involved in agriculture until my brothers were part of the BIPOC advisory committee.
Really?
Yeah, I cared about it. I woofed Worldwide Opportunities Organic Farmers like 10 years ago. So I got interested in farming, but I wasn't in the industry until the BIPOC Advisory Council that these two were on.
Really?
Timu got me involved in the agricultural industry because of the Farmer Equity Act. So I want to just belabor that point, how vital that was. And then now that I'm here, I've realized I don't have to be a farmer to utilize my skill set to help the agriculture industry for my people. So I'm still with finance.
Yeah.
I'm director of finance for CAF, Community Alliance for Family Farmers, and I utilize my skill set to help my colleagues who are farmer advocates and technical assistance providers to help small and underserved farmers across the state of California. So shout out to Paul Tower, shout out to Jamie Fanous, my soldiers in arms. So I utilize my skill set within CAF to push the campaign for bettering farmers and empowering farmers across the state of California.
That is pretty amazing because guess what?
What?
I don't know one farmer who can get along without a smart banker being their partner. You guys, we're all seeing that, huh? I think we should also give a call out to the Assemblywoman who was the author of the Farmer Equity Act, and she's from here in Yolo County, Assemblywoman Aguiar Curry, great friend for all of us and a great champion. Tamu, I am so happy to finally meet you in person. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
You've done a lot, but I'd love to hear, you said yes to serving on the ad hoc BIPOC committee.
Yes.
At that time, were you very familiar with the Farmer Equity Act and the report that came out? Why did you say yes, and how have things changed for you since serving on that committee that was organized in 2021?
At that time, I was not familiar with the Equity Act, but I was very familiar with the inequities that we are experiencing firsthand. Yeah. Coming from an inner city, coming from a food desert, coming from agricultural land that doesn't have access to the agriculture industry, I knew the inequities firsthand, so I knew how to address it from our vantage point, from our urban setting where I was around elders and teachers who've built community gardens and understand land access and understand how to do these things. Yeah. I mean, I've been involved in the food system for 20 years, so I have an understanding of it. And why I joined was to be able to really bring that to the table, to bring our innovation, bring our different LA ideas, our LA energy, business ideas, concepts to the table. And what it allowed for myself and members from our community was to bring our voice, but also for us to be able to understand what is the California Department of Food and Agriculture. It was mainly me not necessarily always want to give my opinion, but listening and paying attention to learn first, and then process, and then go back to my community and distribute what I learned. To understand what are the functions of the California Department of Food and Agriculture, what are the different offices, what are grants, what are stakeholders, how do we make proposals, things of that nature, how do we really, now that we're here, how can we take it serious and really be a part of this industry of agriculture?
This is being done for Black History Month, but every day is a time to celebrate Black history and to think about the healing and the way we move forward to address some of the things we've already talked about. The fact that there wasn't access to programs, and in fact, sometimes intentional, many times intentional, making sure there wasn't. What does it mean to you to be able to tell this story during Black History Month? And what is your hope for Black farmers in California and all those who depend upon the food. Food sovereignty is an important issue.
California's future depends on food sovereignty, and Black farmers have always played an important role in addressing food injustice because we've experienced it directly. So for this month, I like to rename it as Afrofutures Month so that we can have a forward-looking way to see ourselves in positions of leadership when it comes to agriculture in California.
So I just want to emphasize the point that we are here because of our elders. All three of us have taken counsel from elders in the agriculture industry who have given us the vision to land us here at 22 acres at Ujamaa land. So shout out to our elders, but it's our responsibility to take care of the next generation. And that's exactly where we're uniquely positioned in time to do that. And as far as where I see Black farmers, it's time for projects, it's time for organization, and it's time to actually get real about leveling up our skill sets and our ability to work together to integrate with institutions like the CDFA, USDA, to build sustainable ecosystems with an agricultural base. It's time to actually build communities and not talk about it.
I want to see us no longer be socially disadvantaged, no longer be historically underserved. I want to see us create multi-generational projects, programs. I want to see us be a part of the implementation. I want to see us take it upon ourselves to be a part of the implementation. I want to see us heal. I want to see us create conflict resolution. I want to see us work together, uplift each other, empower each other, share information, share resources. I want to see us be engaged with the CDFA and the USDA and our institutions, and our colleges and our schools, and this whole industry. And I want to see us take it upon ourselves to take that initiative and spearhead it and not wait and not point and not blame. And we do it. We can empower ourselves and we can do it. And we be a part of this REAP goals and strategy. I want to see us be a part of that. And always, I want to see us, especially myself, taking it upon myself to create culturally relevant outreach, culturally relevant technical assistance, and we be a part of the implementation of this equity report, and we get our land access and our land tenure, and we deal with our language, and we deal with us being on these committees and coalitions, and we get ourselves resourced. That's what I want to see.
Thank you. So we are here in Black History Month. I am so thrilled and so honored with the conversation that we had today. Thea, thanks for helping to put this together. To Adam, to Tamu, and to Nelson, thank you for letting me drill you and to spend some time on this farm. But you have some members of the collective here. Would you please introduce them and give us our closing thoughts?
Yes. Thank you, Karen, for blessing us with your presence on our land. I'm Nelson Hawkins, and I'd like to introduce the Ujamaa Farmer Collective, Nathaniel Brown, Keith Hudson, and Rochelle Hudson.
Yeah, Ujamaa Farmer Collective is a 501c3 Black-led nonprofit organization committed to empowering the underserved farmers of California. We have this vision of the food system where BIPOC farmers have equitable access to these programs that ensure land tenure and agricultural resources that build generational security in that food system.
And we are achieving those goals through facilitating economic cooperation among participating farmers to share land, skills, costs, equipment, tools, and infrastructure here on our land.